The month of March celebrates Women's History Month, and this year a trio of performers is showcasing the power of women through a series of concerts spotlighting female composers. I spoke with them at the head of their performances about the trials and tribulations embedded in the score. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration to get this going.
A few years ago, actually during the pandemic, Sophia and I were in a quartet, Eclectica quartet, and to honor the Black History Month, Women's History Month, we did these diversity concerts where we would do half or a whole program honoring whether it was Black American composers or women. Last year, with a quartet, a different quartet of players, the Vermont Symphony sponsored us in a program of all women composers. And so in a way, it was a return to something I loved doing. And I thought this year, I want to do it again with these people. I love playing with them. So it's now a trio rather than a quartet.
When it comes to playing in, a concert, playing in unison or just doing a piece, how does the trust among the musicians really play into that, that role and really getting this piece and translating the feeling to your audience?
We've played in the Vermont Symphony. I've worked with Sophia. We performed iconic violin, and actually it's an orchestra piece, the Meditation from Thais, with Opera Company of Middlebury. And Laura, I feel like I've known you for so many years, but we've never collaborated in this combination.
And then as we practice together, we grow on that, build on that, and make sure that we understand each other's body language and musical preferences.
What can you share with us about some of these pieces and their significance just to music in general as we know it?
Well, the concert is almost purely chronological. We start with Magdalena Sirman. She wrote all violin music. Just interesting in that it is the beginning of a new era in music. And then we go into the 1800s, and we have three composers from that era, and that's more lush romantic style music. And then we get into the 20th century with more modern contemporary sounding women composers, some of whom went through quite a lot of hardship to be able to get their music heard and published.
Some of those stories that we're going to hear to what we're seeing today.
I think it does still relate to today. I still think it's difficult, although obviously much easier now than it used to be. In the past, those spheres of influence, women and men, women were at the home, men were out, were so codified. Women have a different experience than men going through the world, and it brings up different emotions and it brings up different perspectives, and it's those perspectives and emotions that we're excited about sharing with people because they haven't been really in the public eye like they are more now.
Growing up and as a classical pianist, I played almost no pieces by women composers, which didn't seem strange at the time. It just was sort of the way it was. And then I learned about Clara Schumann. I was like, oh, but I, sort of, is this good music? I had, sort of doubts about it. And then the more I get to know this body of work, I realize how underperformed it is. It's just so inspiring to now get to play so much of it and to be able to share it.
Is there a different feeling that you experience as women to be able to play something that was composed by a woman? Is there some sort of a connection to either the story or the emotion that could be conveyed throughout the music at all that you find that you also kind of emulate in your performances at all?
I feel like there's a definite intimate connection. I am feeling that with all the pieces. Some in particular, the Berceuse, the one where Sophia and I are each doing a solo with the piano as part of the program. There's a distinct personal intimacy.
You guys are going to be playing in different venues across the state coming up this month. What is your reaction to possibly introducing something to a young audience? How does it feel to be kind of stewards of this legacy, to be able to share that with these people?
Because it's chronological, people will, and they're hearing the narratives of these women composers. We maybe take for granted how women nowadays, there are definitely hardships, but not like there were. Even women, especially in the 19th century, may have had husbands who were composers, fathers, often came from musical families, and yet they still had so, just to break through the barrier of a woman, a creative woman, how outrageous. Expressing yourself, people in the audience, the young ladies, to be able to see that we have so much opportunity now. Take advantage.
Speaking to that a little bit, you kind of mentioned it, that how there's still hardships in several different ways today that women face every day.
Yes.
When it comes to your own experiences and kind of learning how to persevere, whether it's in, within music or any other different facets of your identities, what's the overall message that you would give to young women?
Boy, where do we begin? Believe in yourself. Find good mentors. And if you're female mentors are really helpful because they speak to your experience. They are more likely to understand everything that you're going through. And don't give up. Follow your heart. Like if you know that music is what you want to do, for instance, or mathematics or whatever, don't let anyone stand in your way. It's easy to say, as we all know. We all have come across situations, male and female, everyone has come across situations where you seem to be facing insurmountable challenges that you can't get through. But, the message is the same. You got to persevere and believe in yourself and keep working at it, and eventually you'll get there.
It's an energy too. I think you put energy from a very deep place through something, and that just can help to sort of pave the way. Yeah, it's not just a decision. It's like it's an active, constant energy that it requires.
Yeah.
Good point.
And one bit of advice I'd give to a young woman thinking of a career in music, I was given this advice and I didn't follow it, is don't go just for performance, but go for education.
Yeah.
After I got my performance degree, I went back afterwards and realized I can learn a little bit more about how to teach. And I got that.
How can folks get involved and come out to the shows? What do they need to know? Where are you guys going to be? Give us the details.
So you're going to be looking for Thalia, spelled Thalia. And we are going to be playing in Montpelier on March 27th at the Christ Church in Montpelier. And then we're going to be Saturday night in Richmond at the Richmond Library Music Hall. And Sunday in Waterbury at 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock concert.
Certainly a lot to look forward to. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today.